Hey everybody, I wanted to check in with you and talk about what we're doing this week, what we're kind of doing for the rest of the semester, and then give you some pointers on your Project 3s. So I just finished grading your drafts, and I gave you guys some really detailed feedback, which I sent them all via email. So you should all have feedback from me. Please make sure that you read that carefully and just be aware of the things that I'm saying, because a lot of people, I think, are going to have a hard time with their final drafts if they're not aware of some of the major points that I'm looking at. And as a reminder, your peer review comments are due by Sunday at 10 o'clock p.m. So make sure that you're aware of your groups and that you are completing those by Sunday at 10 o'clock so that your peers will have time to read them and review them along with my comments to complete their final drafts. So check your emails for my feedback, check your Blackboard blog for your peers' feedback. And then I want to go through a few things that I kind of noticed across the board. Obviously not every single person will have this issue, but many, many people had these issues. And I'm actually going to offer you an opportunity for extra credit at the end of the video, so make sure that you kind of stick with me. It'll only be a few minutes. But I have a few things that you guys need to keep in mind. First of all, and most importantly, you must cite your sources. This is very important, and only a couple people actually did do this consistently. When you're providing, particularly if you're providing, I'm trying to think of a couple of examples. If you're providing statistics, if you're providing a specific terminology, if you're providing any sort of information that isn't general knowledge, you must cite your source. Some of you haven't even included sources at all for those particular items, or you'll just put somebody's name at the end. That's not really helpful. What you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to tell us the article, you're going to want to tell us the author, you're going to want to tell us when that happened, and you're going to want to provide that information, because otherwise it just looks like you're kind of listing off a bunch of facts. That's not what research is all about. Research is about, and especially in these kind of situations, it's about providing an argument and then backing them up with specific claims and specific sources. So make sure that you're citing your sources consistently throughout. It's the most important thing. Also have a claim. Some of you have great claims and they're really clear. Sometimes you don't have maybe a clear claim, but I'm going to offer you suggestions for those claims. And then some of you are kind of giving some information about certain topics, but you're not actually providing a claim. So I think it might be really important to go back to that same chapter 6 of the Wainwriter and get a good sense of what a claim looks like to give you a better understanding of what I'm looking for. But your paper must have a claim, and I think that sometimes if your paper doesn't have a claim, again, it can read like a list of just factual information that's just provided about a particular topic. That's not really the purpose of a research paper. A research paper is to, the purpose is to answer a question that you came up with in Project 2, and that would be your argument. And it's something a little different than just a bunch of factual information about a particular topic. So make sure that you're really developing that claim. And then the third thing, and this is kind of less important, but it happened quite a bit, is that you talked a lot about your research process. That was really, really important. That was the whole point of Project 2, but in Project 3, you don't need to include any of that information. So you don't need to say, I had a research question and I'm answering that research question right now. That is all kind of implied. So you don't need to give me any sort of indication that this was part of your research process. Instead, just provide some information, so provide, some background, provide maybe an anecdote from your life, but you don't need to let me know at each stage, this is what happened at this point, and then I looked up this article and stuff like that. That's reading more like your iSearch paper. So those are the top 3 things. Cite your sources, have a claim. This isn't an iSearch paper, this is a research paper. As for your extra credit, all you need to do for 10 points of extra credit is to email me and let me know the most important thing that I said in this video. And the most important thing that I said in this video, to reiterate, is that in your Project 3 you must cite your sources. Very, very important. Everybody's got to do it. You got to make sure you have those sources. And if you're providing some sort of information that's specialized, you have to find a source for that. I'm sure that you have sources for those and you just didn't list them, but that is a problem across the board, major issues. Other minor issues will come up in my comments, but I just wanted to give you guys a sense of the things that I was seeing. So, as a reminder, peer review is due Sunday at 10 o'clock. Oh, your extra credit should also come to me by Sunday at 10 o'clock, so make sure that you do that. Again, the extra credit is what's the most important thing I said. The most important thing I said is cite your sources. You must cite your sources. And then next Sunday at 10 o'clock, your project 3 is due. So until then, you're mostly just working on your paper, reviewing feedback, etc., etc. If you have any questions, I'll be around. I'm going to be out of town for a few days, but I will have my cell phone with me with my email. Email me with any questions or concerns, and I'm looking forward to reading your final drafts.